These old houses may look wonderful, but in fact they leak energy like sieves and produce carbon dioxide, which contributes to global warming. But this can be stopped, and inside some of these properties there are drastic changes afoot. I'm Amanda Burrell, and I'm here to meet some of London's retrofitting pioneers.
Amanda,
hello.
Nice to meet you. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Please, will you put these on?
Okay, it's a dangerous area, is it?
It is.
This property is having a home energy retrofit. It's being updated to make it more eco-friendly.
As you can see through here, we are currently just installing the insulation. We have insulation on the external walls, and we have insulation on what are called the party walls, the walls that join this house to the next house. Down here, we are insulating the chimney breast at the moment. Traditionally, this would be an area of significant heat and air loss.
A retrofit like this costs around 15% of the total renovation, in this case £10,000. But as a result, energy bills will be much less.
We have here one of the layers of insulation. This is mineral wool insulation that's preventing the heat from escaping up through the flat into the flat above. This is the layer of OSB, oriented strand board, and this will act as our airtight layer. And then we will tape all the joints to prevent even the smallest amount of air escaping, because that is exactly the problem.
This house might look the same as all the others on the street, but I've been told that actually it's radically different. Hi, Tom. Hello. Nice to meet you. Wow, what a beautiful house. So what's different about this house?
So this is the UK's first family home to be retrofitted to a passive house. A passive house is a type of house that uses much, much less energy to heat it and light it. In this case, we use about 90% less.
So how do you do that? How does it work?
We do that by super insulating the walls, by installing highly efficient windows. In this case, all the windows are triple glazed, and by making the house more or less completely airtight so that we can control heat loss.
Can you show me around?
Absolutely. Let's start with the ventilation system.
Tom Pakenham is the director of Green Tomato Energy, which specialises in retrofitting to low energy standards. As a model for what could be done, he transformed his own home for the cost of £50,000.
So, because the house is sealed, you need to bring fresh air into the house all the time, otherwise people would suffocate. So the air comes in from the outside and passes down through this pipe, which is hidden behind this trellis, down under the ground into the house. It circulates fresh air all around the house constantly, and then the old stair layer comes out from a similar sort of pipe and is taken out and expelled. And every 2.5 hours, all of the air in the house has changed. So it's constantly got lovely, fresh, warm air in the house. And there's a machine in the basement which has a couple of fans in, which brings air in and takes air out. A super-duper machine.
Should we have a look at it?
Yeah.
Gosh, it's complicated in here.
Sort of engineer's dream. So this rather nondescript-looking unit is called a mechanical ventilation and heat recovery machine. It does a lot of different things.
Pipes from this machine lead to ducts in the floors and ceilings, providing ventilation in every room. Stale air and moisture is sucked out from the kitchens and bathrooms. Heat from these is extracted and passed to the fresh air that goes into the living areas. On very cold days, a small heat pump warms this incoming air. This, together with insulation and draft-proofing, means the house stays warm even in the British winter.
Around the back here, we've got our solar thermal hot water tank. So the heat from the sun gets put into this tank thanks to these little tubes, which carry very, very hot fluid from the roof. If you feel there, you'll feel that's at 80 degrees centigrade.
Oh, that's hot. That's really hot. I actually can't hold on to it for more than a few seconds. It works.
And here's the source of that heat.
On the roof, we have 3 solar thermal panels which make hot water. Those take the heat from the sun and they heat up the fluid that runs through them and take that heat into the hot water tank and heat up the water in the hot water tank. And they generate about 70% of our annual hot water needs. So on a day like today, they'll fill up the tank with 600 litres of water of 60, 70 degrees. And if it were cloudy for the next 5 or 6 days, we would still have hot water from them. You need to clean them every so often, take the dust off the top. If there's too much dust, it reduces their efficiency. You have your sock.
My high-tech sock.
Wipe the dust off.
Well, you don't want to have vertigo if you go solar, do you?
No.
Being up here is great because actually it's very, very hot and you can really feel the power of the sun up here. Tell me about these panels. What are these ones doing?
So these are solar photovoltaic panels. They convert the sunlight into electricity. This system is quite a small system, but at the moment it's generating all the electricity that the house is using in the fridge and the ventilation system and the pump for the solar thermal panels, etc.
And can those take you through a British winter?
Through the course of the year, you get the most electricity is generated during the summer months. But the system will continue to generate some electricity throughout the whole of the year with very low amounts in the winter months. 20% of all of our energy requirements are generated by these panels.
Electricity is the sole source of power.
They're quite dirty, aren't they?
In winter, any extra needed comes from the national grid. But when it's warmer, these panels can generate more power than the house requires. This is fed back into the grid on a daily basis in exchange for a small fee. The idea of retrofitting is beginning to spread. Tom's company is advising 2 housing associations, each with thousands of properties, on how to be more energy efficient.
I find it really exciting being up here because Tom's house seems pretty revolutionary. And looking out at all the properties behind me, I can't see any other solar panels. So I get a real sense of potential of what could be done here and how the city could be made more eco-friendly.